who are the better teams than the Eagles? And let's not forget something here. The Eagles went to Denver and beat the piss out of the Broncos. In Denver, beat the piss out of them, and were more dominant at the point of attack. Let me bang this off you here. I say that the Eagles had a great day yesterday. Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson
I saw
is
that,
now.
Man. I saw you saying that. I saw you saying it. You know I watched the show, bro.
Hey, man. Well, Barrett, I want your thoughts on it, because watch this. Without doing anything, you got a franchise quarterback out of the NFC, and now I start by subtraction here. Who are the better teams than the Eagles? And let's not forget something here. The Eagles went to Denver and beat the piss out of the Broncos. In Denver, beat the piss out of them, and were more dominant at the point of attack with that dude. Will the Broncos look different with Russell Wilson? Of course, no one's denying that. However, just by the subtraction, Barrett, look at where the Eagles are now. The Cowboys now are in salary cap hell. The Rams are now having to cut $48 million off their cap. They're going to lose Vaughn. They're going to lose a pass rusher on the other side. They're going to lose some people on that defense. The Packers are in salary cap hell. They got to restructure contracts. They just franchise tagged Devontae Adams. I say this. The Philadelphia Eagles are in the best shape of any NFC team. I get it. We don't have the shiny quarterback, and we don't have the big-name guy there, but you're $30 million under the cap. You've got 11 draft choices. You've got 3 first-rounders. Tell me where I'm wrong, where you name me a team. Are the Packers better than the Eagles? Yes. Are the Rams? Maybe. Give me another team. Arizona? Okay.
I don't think so. I mean, Hopkins being back makes him a force, but a lot of guys on that their pass rush on that defense is gone now. So, I mean, you know, where else are they going to get the pass rush that they had? Chamberlain, what's his name?
Chandler Jones.
Yeah. I mean, no. Let me look it up right now.
People are saying the Eagles don't have a quarterback. Wait a minute. They didn't have a quarterback last year. We're 9-8, went to the postseason, and now by just subtraction,
Chandler
Seattle's
Jones,
no longer a contender.
Corey Peters also is going to be out of there. That's a lot of pass rush. But you're right, man. You look at the league is definitely going to even out as far as, you know, how these powerhouses are now being built. You know, the super teams are gone because you can't keep guys in their fold because that salary cap is killing folks right now. And I hate to say this, and it sends a spike through my spine, but Howie Roseman is doing it, man.
Yeah.
He has put them in a great position with the salary cap to be very competitive. He did it, man. He got so many guys off the books in order for them to be, you know, a team that's going to be able to compete in the NFC.
If they need something, Barrett, if they need something in free agency, he doesn't have to sit here and go like this now. Hey, look, man, we got to cut this guy, to cut that guy, to cut this guy, to move this money around. Because as you know, when an NFL team is being built, all it is about moving money around.
Yep.
Okay? And deleting guys off your football team. If you look where am I right when I said the Eagles are in the best shape, even with question marks at the quarterback position? And you know what? Quite frankly, the quarterback position gives him what you said yesterday, the autonomy, because he's on a rookie deal, to be able to be in that position to build both sides of the ball up. And if you come to the conclusion, Barrett, that this guy's not the guy to get you to a Super Bowl, he's surely enough, because he's proven it, to get you to the playoffs. And in the war of attrition, which is the National Football League, you get to the postseason, Nick Foles will be the first guy to tell you, let's just go play 60 minutes of football and see what happens.
You know, and we're not even talking about – we're talking about salary cap and having the ability to bring in guys. We still have 3 first-round picks, and we're going into free agency. 3 first-round picks.
That's
deep,
incredible.
Man. That's deep, man.
Do you agree that because of like, again, name me, let's do this one even too. Name me better quarterbacks in the NFC than Jalen Hurts. Rodgers?
Yeah, you got
Rodgers.
Stafford.
I'm not going to say Dak.
Well, Dak has showed that he has a kink in his armor
I think,
now.
You know what? How about this? I'll give you Dak because maybe he's a tick up. You think Kyler Murray's better?
No, because he showed he might need to go see the wizard. You know, his heart, man. He might not have the heart that I thought he had.
Me too.
Him, you know, I think he, you know, just like you said earlier on last week, he made some business decisions, man, that kind of soured me on how he plays, man.
Yeah.
Going forward, you look at the division. I look at the division right now. I think the Eagles are tops in the division because Dallas is going to have to cut a lot more guys and you know, and massage that cap still a lot more.
I got two quarterbacks. Watch it, Stafford and Rodgers. Who's a better quarterback than Jalen? And by the way, you and I have been talking about, and you know what? Somebody made an idiotic comment yesterday where you guys were saying that he's going to be a $34 million quarterback. Yeah, that's the market for starting quarterbacks. If the cap number is 29.7, dude, you're going to get $30 million as a starting quarterback because the cap number is the floor in the league at that respective position for stars and starters. That's the number, man. So, Barrett, you're right on. 30 million, 29.7 is the number. So I went around yesterday, Barrett, and I started thinking, who's better than Jalen in the system that he's going to come back for a second year?
Yeah, and that's it. Coming back for a second year with the same coaching staff, and coaching staff now understands how to play him, take advantage of the offensive line that he has. I mean, they still have so many weapons that they can go out and get with salary cap and draft picks, but they're going to be a dangerous team. But Howie has to come out of his shell, and sometimes you have to take a step back, evaluate, and give Andy Waddle a little bit of leash to go out there and work his magic. You know, find the players that they need and get, you know, okay, Howie, we'll give you the okay, but let, you know, Andy Waddle make some decisions. Give him enough time. Give him enough time to go out there and find the players that we need in the draft, man, because it's imperative that they have a great draft this year to get them and jumpstart in the right direction. How many times are they going to have 3 first-round draft picks in one draft?
No, absolutely not. And I would say what Dave says, probably Matt Ryan's a better quarterback. And by the way, everyone's going like this with Seattle because now Seattle gets 2 1s and they get their draft choices back. Barrett, you want to hear something crazy?
Well, you know, hold on about this Matt Ryan thing. Matt Ryan is a better passer.
Better passer.
Yes, he's a better passer. I don't know if necessarily a better quarterback.
Hey, I predicted that on my mock draft, I predicted that Seattle would trade with Denver 2 weeks ago and that they would go get a quarterback at number 9 where Denver's pick is.
I remember you told me that too.
Right, and I went and I said, I think that they're going to go and I think they're getting ready to move off of that they're getting ready to move off of him. But what about this?
I thought Russell was going to be there forever. I thought that they changed everything for him to be there, especially after the coach said, well, you know, we want Russell here and he's staying here. And
said it a week ago.
Yeah, and now look where he's at now. He's gone.
Yeah, a week ago, we have no intention of trading. That's why what you and I were saying, you don't believe anything in the land of misinformation right now because we're in that era right now of misinformation. But hey, I'll throw this at you too, man. Guys, how do you know Seattle now is not going to parlay those first round picks and go get Deshaun Watson?
Well, that's also they have 2. No, they only have 1 first rounder right now. They only have 1 first rounder.
No, they got 2 because of the deal.
Well, they got 2 for 1 for next year.
Yeah, well, but they've got 2 they got 2 first rounders. They could put those first rounders up now that they got from Denver, and they could put those 2 first rounders up because how about this? Russell Wilson's asking price, 2 1s, 2 2s, and 3 players. Okay. I don't really think that that's over, especially when you throw that garbage quarterback Drew Lock in it.
Right.
I mean, Drew Lock's your quarterback in Seattle. I looked at that deal and I went like this, man.
Well,
Denver got over.
And Deshaun at this point, he's gonna because of what Russell Wilson with the proven product that Russell is. That just makes Deshaun Watson go up as far as what he can ask for.
I think so too.
I think it's at the very least 3 first-rounders. And how many teams have 3 first-rounders right now? There's only one team. So if you package 2 of those first-rounders this year, a first-rounder next year, maybe Jalen Hurts, that's probably we probably have the most as far as what you can offer a team. Now, they're going to want to, just like they let Fan go. Fan was a real good tight end. I can see them asking for somebody like Jordan Mailata, your boy Dickerson, somebody like that, a high-powered player to get put in this deal too. So
would you do this? Would you give them 2 1s, Houston, 2 1s, Fletcher Cox? You pick up a percentage of the contract, and maybe you send him Dallas Goedert.
Where do I sign? Where do I sign? Let's make this happen.
You see, people don't want to hear names like Landon Dickerson or Dallas Goedert or
that's who you are,
Devontae Smith.
Yep.
Bro, do you know that Chase Young's name was brought up with the Commanders in Washington as a potential trade package to get Russell Wilson?
Is that crazy or what? And Russell just didn't want to go.
Yeah,
that's the only reason why the deal wasn't done.
Who would want to play for Daniel Snyder, though, Barrett?
Right.
Right? You don't want to go from a good organization like Seattle. Hey, by the way, let me ask you that, too, before you move on here. If you're Washington and he snubs you like that, what does that say to other potential free agents at other positions about Washington? How would you look at that now, the Washington Commanders, if you were a free agent?
That's a place where you go to die, bro. You're not going to Washington. It's just not a destination point. It's not a destination spot. I don't think that when they made the deal, you heard what he said. They said that he didn't want to go in the NFC period, especially not the NFC East. So I'm taking that as, he didn't want to go to the Commanders or the Eagles. He didn't want to land at any one of those spots. That's why I took it.
Why wouldn't Seattle put at least like this? Okay, we'll move you. We're not moving you. Surely Seattle was part of this too, that said this to his people. Look, dude, we're going to move you. You want to be moved, but we can't move you to an NFC team. Okay, we just can't. Right? You can't be moved into an NFC team. I can't have you here. Why would Seattle do this, Barrett? Yeah, well, let me help the Eagles win the NFC by giving them Russell Wilson. Why would I help that cause when I know how close the Eagles are? If you had Russell Wilson in your team for the next 5 years, the Eagles, they would be perennial favorites to win the NFC, even more so than what they have up in Green Bay, because Green Bay, as you and I have been talking, are going to lose a boatload of people because of the cap. So I think there had to be something in there. I don't think it's a slight at the Eagles. I think it's more publicly that he said no to Washington. Why wouldn't you just leave it at this? I didn't want to play in the NFC.
Right, exactly.
Why did you add I vetoed the Washington deal? Why would you throw that? Why did you go like this? Well, I vetoed the Eagles, Washington. I vetoed Minnesota. He goes, no, but I vetoed Washington.
Right.
He singled them out. You know what I mean?
Because they probably threw the kitchen sink at him. And realistically, like I said yesterday, the Commanders are a quarterback away from being a pretty damn good team, man.
Agreed.
And if you look at it, the way it would shift if he went there, they'd be a balanced team. You look at the Eagles, if he came here, we still wouldn't have been a balanced team. Our defense still lacks too much.
Yeah.
To be competitive, week in and week out. If you play a bad quarterback, we know that, Coach Gannon, D coordinator Coach Gannon is going to go and try to blitz them. But you have a good quarterback, he's going to play off and get picked apart. So until they change that identity, till they change their concepts, their defensive concepts, there's no way that we can compete at that level. We have to find a way to become more aggressive. And I think the only way that he'll feel comfortable with that is getting a pass rusher and getting another safety, man. We got to have that at the very least.
Because you need a tone setter at safety, and you need an edge rusher that gets you 10, 15 sacks.
Oh, I would love to have a linebacker. And of course, I've been screaming, draft a linebacker who, I was just looking at YouTube, man, and I was looking at Reuben Foster, Ferrari Foster. I'm looking at him, how good he was and how he just wasted his career. Then I started looking at Ray Lewis, watched his career, Bobby Wagner. So I spent the last hour sitting back watching YouTube of linebackers that I love watching. I break down tape. There's a stat that I call impact tackles. Impact tackles are tackles that are either beyond the 3 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, or 3 yards in back of the line of scrimmage. Those are impact tackles. I don't see a lot of guys who are up there in the tackle count getting those impact tackles. I mean, you look at our guys. I mean, I love Singleton. I love Edwards, but I don't see a lot of impact tackles. They're either 5 yards down the field, when they're making a tackle. That's not where I want. I want those 3 yards or less tackles, or behind the line of scrimmage. Give me those type of tackles, but we just don't have it. And when you watch a guy like Ray Lewis, and I've played against the guy. I've been down in my three-point stance looking at him, trying to figure out where the hell he's coming from and trying to get him, and knowing if you don't get him, he's going to wreak havoc in your backfield. We don't have that dominating presence in the middle of the defense. You got to have something like that in order for your defense to start clicking. Then you trust it. And I know Gannon, look what he had. He had Hendricks there. He had Barr there. He had linebackers that go out there and dictate tempo. He didn't have it here, so I don't think he's comfortable with those guys in the middle right now.
Can I tell you what kind of technique I think those linebackers in Philly have? I think they're reachers and the chasers. They're reachers and chasers. I mean, they're gatherers.
I feel you on that. Yep.
They're not hitters.
Yes.
There's no true – there's. You know what? Of all the guys that are on that team that I watched last year, there's no true hitters. No. I mean, there's nobody, like you say, that is putting people back on their heels.
Slobber knockers.
On their toes.
Yeah.
I mean, when a guy leans forward and he gets 4 yards, just because you're gathering and you're reaching and
grab him by the waist.
They're chasing. How many times you watch the linebackers chasing in games?
Yep.
I mean, like 14 of those 17 games, those linebackers are – and what I mean by chasing, folks, is when you got a guy, he's running, you're tackling from the side. You're side tackling. Those are gatherers, reachers, and chasers, man. I don't want them fuckers on my team.
Right.
I want guys that blow plays up and put dudes on their backs. Those are guys that set a tone. Those are intimidators. That's what made that Ravens defense so good. Man, you weren't getting plus yardage on them.
No,
they were putting you on your back. Now, I get the game has changed, Barrett. But, dude, when you play a soft zone coverage and you got no pass rush, you got no chance of winning against good football teams.
Dan, I'm going to tell you the truth. I will take a 15-yard penalty if you just totally run through somebody. I don't even want you to slow down. I want you to run straight through them, because that sets the tone from that point on. Hey, these guys come ready to play. I'll take that every once in a while because you're dictating tempo. You just can't help yourself. I want one of those linebackers that just can't help themselves, that they just can't help but run through people and just explode through people. And that's what I saw when I'm watching this film, man. I got so deep into it, man. I almost forgot what time the show came on, man, because I was just watching it, man. I was just watching it. I mean, I couldn't believe, man. I wanted Reuben Foster so bad, man. I mean, watching him play when he was at Alabama was unbelievable. Number 10 still sticks out of my mind on how he played the game, man. And you want those type of – I watched Patrick that played for LSU. I mean, Queen. I'm like, look at this dude play, bro. I want that. Mosley.
That dude on the Bucks can play.
Yes.
That kid White.
Yes.
That kid White can play.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Either one of them. So I'm like, why can't we get a player like that? That will stop everything, will just totally F up everything, on the field if you don't block them. I want to see those type of guys.
You got it, man. Hey, I want to watch this. So this is why you know what? Aaron Rodgers is so good for the NFL because you know why?
Why is that?
He's a villain.
I gotta hear that.
He's
what?
a villain.
Oh.
He's a villain. So watch this, guys. Let me tell you what this dickhead did yesterday. So Barrett, he gets a 4-year, $200 million deal. And he goes on Twitter going, "Oh, hey, I'm really glad to be back, but the numbers of my contract aren't right. And, hey, what's being reported is not." And you're like, man, you have a great opportunity right there to do this. Hey, right. I'm really glad to be back with the Packer faithful. I'm really glad to be back with my boys and such. I really, man, I mean, this is just really wonderful that I'm going to retire a Green Bay Packer. Ben Roethlisberger played the longest at quarterback, 18 years with one team. I get now a chance to go into my 20th year and be a guy to break that record and just to be a Green Bay Packer. It's such a great honor. Instead, you know what he does? Hey, man, those numbers aren't right. And I'm like, you're bitching in a time when gasoline is $7.65 in California. You're telling me, well, no, it's maybe 50. He's trying to tell you $15 or $10 million difference. I mean, Barrett, this is why it's easy to hate this guy.
Right. I mean, look at it. I mean, you just saw with my captain, man. T. Fortuna, he just put up there. He went to go fill his boat up. Diesel, over $6 a gallon. Over $6. Now these boats have like 300, 400 gallon tanks.
Oh yeah, man.
So diesel is $6, $7. Bro, I don't see how you stay in Cali. There's no way that I would stay in Cali, man. At least here in Jersey, it's right around $4. But they pump your gas for you. Can't pump your gas in Jersey. You're not allowed to.
Well, let me tell you what I got. I know they got that rule that they have to have attendance.
Yep.
They still have that thing in place?
Yes, you have to. They have to pump your gas. You can't pump your own gas.
I grew up with that. I'm like, why do I have to have attendant? I go, why do I have to have an attendant doing my cards on the Parkway?
Right.
What the hell is that? I mean, right? I'm like, what are you crazy? So on my way to Atlantic City, coming down from Connecticut, I'm going, we have to get on the turnpike. And you're like, we pull over to get gas. Here's a guy. I'm like, a guy, no, you can't pump your own gas. I'm like,
no,
excuse me?
You can't pump your own gas, bro. You can't do it. It's like, and it's crazy, man, but you can't pump your own gas. It's like $4. So I'm good with it, but I could not stay in California. In fact, I was talking to Tony yesterday. My cat yesterday said, you know what? I wish they just blow up and have a major earthquake and just have California just seep off and be its own independent private country.
Dude, I mean, hey, man, it's like Cuba. hey, all I know is this, man. As soon as my daughter's out of Arizona, bro, I'm freaking, dude, $7 in Los Angeles right now for gas.
Bro, I would ride a bike.
No, get this. So we have two cars, right? I got a Hummer and a Honda Pilot. And I have cobwebs on my tire to my Hummer right now because I refuse to move it because, hey, I'm the cheapest dude you'll ever meet in your life, man.
Not as cheap as me.
Hey, man, cheapest. No, listen. I mean it, man. I'm on the horn checking my balance. I'm doing this all the time. Hey, and man, my wife comes out. She goes, "There's cobwebs on your Hummer." I go, "You think I'm moving that thing? That thing gets 11 miles a gallon." No, thank you, man. It's $10 to go. No, not happy. I'm not doing it, man. So
well, why do you think I build so much shit, man? That's why I build so much, because I'm not paying anybody else to do it. I asked the guy how much he would charge me to put my T-top on my boat. How much would he charge me? And he was like, I'm saying around $1,800, bro. I went in my garage and I just taught myself how to use a spooling gun to weld aluminum. I just taught myself yesterday and the day before.
How do you weld aluminum?
Here's right, Barrett.
Here's Barrett.
And I taught myself how to do it, man. I showed you the pieces, man. I showed you what I was doing. I was in my garage, literally welding places. So I went to the steel place up the road, went and got some aluminum pipes. I bought a pipe bender the other day also, and I'm gonna do this thing myself. So it might cost me at the most $100 in material, and another $200 in my pipe bender and stuff like that. And I'm gonna do this myself because I refuse to pay $1,800 to put this T-top on. I put like this, sorry, Mom, but I am redoing my shitter in my big boat that's up there because they wanted to charge me $5,000 to come in and change the head on it. I am going to do it myself. I'm doing it myself, so I don't have to pay it, man. They want $5,000 to do it. I'm like, oh no, I'll do it myself. So I'm going to go in, take everything out, reinstall everything, and go on my merry way and sail it to the sunset. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because I refuse to pay that much money. I refuse.
Hey man, mom's on.
I'm sorry, Mom. Sorry.
Hey,
Mom.
wait, hey, Mom, I do have to say something to you, man. I'm gonna have to call you out on something here. So Barrett says that you're working very hard to get into heaven. So
she knows it. She knows it. She knows it. She knows it. I told you when I went back home, it was great, man, because she cooked for me and everything. But I still ended up going in there. I made gumbo.
Does she call you sweetie now?
Huh?
Does she call you sweetie now?
Nice. Yeah, she's real nice.
Was she calling you sweetie when you were younger?
No. And then
you got a whole different name now, right? You got a
bro. Whenever I heard my full name, Barrett Charles Brooks Jr., I knew it was hell to be paid, man. Well, see, hey, look, the Joy B knows. It said to have somebody weld, they were charging $400 an hour to weld. $400 an hour.
So this is why you taught yourself.
Yes. I taught myself how to do it because I'm not paying $400 an hour for welding. It's just not.
My wife goes like this, man. He goes, we need some landscape, and I go, I'm not paying anybody to dig in the dirt. Hey, I'm not having that. It's not going to happen, man. Landscapers to me, they're useless, man. I'm not going to pay somebody to cut my trees and to dig in the dirt. It's just, bro, to me, that's wasted money, dude.
Right. My sprinkler system this last summer, I had to redo my sprinkler system. And I went in, all I did was dig up the sprinkler system, sprinkler head, looked at it, and if it was broke, I took it off and I put it in the bag. Then I took that bag and I went to Home Depot and I picked up the sprinkler head that was new, compared it to the one that was broke. Oh, this matches. Put that in the cart. And I went and got all the sprinkler heads that I had, went and reattached them. And they were only what, $15 a piece. I got a quote from my landscaper. Oh, it's gonna cost you $1,100. Bro, I had 10 broken sprinkler heads at $15 a piece. It was only $200. I'm like, are you kidding? I was gonna have to pay $1,100 for just taking it. It was like putting Legos together. Put it on there, put the dirt over it, and that was it. That was it. I was like, come on, man. You may have to turn around. You got to point that, you got to manipulate it so you can point where the, water goes. But it was that easy. He was going to charge me $1,100. I was so mad, man. I was hot.
Well,
man.
If you need any kind of weed whacking, don't forget the weed whacker. Don't forget the weed whacker. All right. After the timeout, are the Eagles now the best team in the NFC East? We'll hit on that. Barrett Brooks, Dan Sileo, the middle, back in 3.